Username here. Want to walk through my trade plan setup for today on my SPY trade, and I'll actually show you the trade as well. But wanted to go through the trade plan quick just to show you how sometimes trade plans can really be easy and they can all kind of line up right. In this case, what I noticed was the FOMC meeting was the beginning of a nice consolidation in the extended hours in the pre-market. And specifically this top trend line really respected it well, including the 8:30 news. It gets really volatile a lot of times, and in this case, it didn't do too bad. It stuck with this to help form the top trend line of this consolidation. And let me just briefly touch on consolidations and why I like them so much and what they are to me. So I really like them because I like to scalp. I like to scalp moves and then hold runners for whatever we can get out of it. But the reason I like this is because a consolidation is really tightening of price. While you're going through this price discovery phase, it's tightening of price until everybody decides what the price should be, or a decision is made, and then that direction wins. Either buyers win or sellers win. And when that occurs, the intent is on a pattern break like this, the intent is that you have an impulsive move with a lot of volume. If you get that impulsive move with a lot of volume, that's your confirmation that that's the direction that they want to go. So, and it gives you a outstanding opportunity for scalps and for day trades. So that's why I really like patterns. I don't like patterns simply because they look a certain way. I like them because of what they mean, what they're doing. They have to be doing a certain thing in that pattern in order for it to be valid. So in this case, what I'm expecting is we had a really volatile day, and now we're kind of seeing prices, they kind of stayed up, and now they're leaking down. Then we had the 8:30 news, and we kind of boxed in this whole range. And now we're going sideways, and this is really a nice symmetrical triangle where you don't know what the direction is, but it's going to go somewhere. And why do I know? Well, because it's either going to go up, down, or sideways. And the two things I mentioned in a consolidation that you need are an impulsive move with volume. And if this same consolidation was happening and it was really getting to a point right at, let's say, 12:15, middle of the day, lunchtime, my conviction in the volume would be a lot less than right at open, because we are guaranteed high volume at open. It happens every day. Every single day we get high volume at open. Might not be the highest of the day, but we do get high volume. So what I'm anticipating is I don't have to worry about the volume coming in. At that point, I only have to worry about the price action with the direction, the candlesticks and the direction. So that's the other reason why this is really lining up. So I've got a consolidation. The consolidation is pointing right towards open, and then further, let me go to the 1 minute here. We're flagging right into open. So if I look at this, there are a lot of reasons telling me that this is going to go up. So I've got more bumps on the upside than the downside. So this is a much more reliable trend line. We are already in an uptrend, so we're doing like a rally-base rally. And we're getting this nice bull flag off the 8:30 volatility. Then we creep right on up towards the top of this trend line, and we have a bull flag right into open. So I ended up getting in 6 seconds after open. That might possibly be a record for how soon after open. It didn't feel like 6 seconds. It felt like I had enough time to read the price action and see that this was going to break up and get in. But it clearly wasn't, because 6 seconds isn't very long at all. So I did get in at 87. It ended up, kind of bouncing around. We came back down, and I put this box in and basically said, okay, if we go below this level, I'm out. This is really early, so you can have a dramatic, violent move with no warning. And, if you're in too heavy, too early, it will wreck you. Ask me how I know. So yeah, I got into one contract here just because this is a very small pattern breakup. And we got down to 75 out of 87. if I would have lost the value of that whole contract, it wouldn't have hurt my feelings or my account. But I'm trying to trade a trade plan, so I still put a stop loss in place. Whether I have one contract or 20 contracts, that was the stop loss. And if we dragged out too far, I probably should have gotten out too, because you also don't want this to go sideways early on. If it goes sideways early on, there's some things to worry about. But in this case, what we did was we had this flag, we broke out, we retested current day open, and we held current day open the whole time. So right about here, I had to walk away from my desk. So this is the part where my account doesn't show how good this trade really was, because I only ended up getting in one contract. So my intent was, it's only 1 minute in, I'll get into one contract, and it won't make or break me. What would have happened then is I would have started scaling into my position going up to here, and by this time I would have made sure that I was in my full position, because this was my regular breakup. So I had this trend line breakup and this trend line. This is kind of confusing, but when you draw a trend line on a chart that's several days in a higher time frame, it doesn't show properly when you go down to a 1 minute. So what I do is I will draw another trend line right in here. So if I draw a trend line right over that and I trace over that line, then when I go to my 1 minute, and I don't draw the whole trend line, I trace it just in the relevant time frame. So when I trace it in the relevant time frame, just the short time frame, like from here, then it shows it more where it's supposed to be in the 1 minute. So this breakup is one part where I definitely would have added. I probably would have started adding. I mean, it's going to sound funny, but this is another kind of a breakup point. And we didn't have a red candle after that, right? So I probably would have started adding. I definitely would have added when we broke up from here, because we've also got increasing volume. Definitely would have been in a full position here, and then probably would have scaled out. I mean, that's generally what I do, right? I scale out at 15% and at each level. Now, the reason I got out here was because I had one contract, and if you look at prior day high, it was the top of that consolidation, and it is a really good pivot. So chances are higher that we're going to turn around from this level a second time, especially since it was prior day high and the top of this consolidation. Chances are higher that it's going to reverse from this position than probably any other line up here, leading up to that. So I'm just going to take those two trend lines out so you can see this. So you can see my move was green the whole way. On this 5 minute chart, my move was green. This was literally what I say when I have a trade that's effortless. This is an effortless trade. We have a flag into open. We have a little bit of a drawdown. I mean, just barely. And then it just goes straight up. Nice big candles, and literally from level to level. Look at those levels. I mean, you can't beat that, right? We never really had a retest of any significance. We close here, we retest a nugget. We close above, we don't even go below this line. We close above, we retest that line. Now this one I did close here. I could have let it keep going, but again, I had one contract, so I'm closing it out here. But if I'd had a full position, I would have scaled out probably all the way up and maybe held somewhere between 2 and 5 to see what I could get out of them. Hoping, but not saying I would have, but hoping I might have had one for the top here or somewhere up here. I know at some point you got to get out, but what a great move today. And if you look at even the 5 minute price action, it's not bad. Retest, consolidation. You never get, we basically, other than right here, we never broke a lower level other than here. So we come up here, we never broke below this level. We break this one, we never broke below this one. We break this one, now we kind of do. But other than this right here, we literally went from level to level. So I don't know if I would have held one, but we'll see. So anyway, that was a trade plan, and it worked out really well. my pocketbook cares that I didn't get a full position, but nothing of my, my trade review's the same. I still walked through what I would have done had I been getting into my full position. So from a practice standpoint is no different. The only thing that's different is I'm many dollars short of where I would have bet. I made like $138 or something instead of who knows how many dollars if I'd have gotten 10 or 20 contracts. So yeah, that's the trade. The trade setup, really easy to identify that it was going to work, really easy to identify when it wasn't going to work. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments or hit me up on Twitter or on Discord. And other than that, I'll see you next time. Thanks.